Every Wednesday from 2 p.m.
You can forget all your troubles, forget all your cares, so go downtown.
94.1 FM, 3WBC is inviting you to join us
every Wednesday from 2 p.m.
for Downtown.
You're listening to 3WBC 94.1 Downtown Sports Update with our leading sports analyst, our own armchair couch reporter, Adam Holden. And tonight we have also Richmond Supporter and tonight's sports panelist, James Clarke. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you, Jerry.
Hello, Jerry. Hello, James.
Hello, James.
Hi, Adam.
What I'd like to talk about tonight is what do we expect round 21, which really starts tomorrow, Thursday, the 30th of July, 2026. I think it starts with Collingwood versus Geelong at the G. The ladder as it stands, and what we also wanted to talk about, 1 minute, Ken Hinkley, Tasmania Devils coach, or should I say, or with his senior coach, is now facing an AFL ban and an unpopular act that's come about. We'll talk about that. The other thing that is that came across my attention was the Honourable Murph Kane, and we'll ask a few questions. Hence, I've got on board a specialist Richmond Supporter and tonight's sports panelist, James Clarke. Now, can I start with you, Adam?
Yes.
Over to you. Let's talk.
About the footy.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the what's happening coming up starting tomorrow.
Okay, so we've
What do
got
we
Collingwood
expect?
playing. We've got Collingwood playing Geelong at the
Yep.
MCG on Thursday night. That should be a good game. Then we have Fremantle versus the Western Bulldogs on Friday night. That you would expect Fremantle should win at home on their home deck at Optus Stadium. Then we move on to Saturday. We have St Kilda versus Sydney at Marvel Stadium. You would imagine Sydney will get over the top of St Kilda. Then you've got Hawthorn playing at North Melbourne at UTAS Stadium in Launceston.
Yep.
And I would hope that Hawthorn win, but I reckon that Clarke would be pretty keen to get his first win against the Hawks since going to North Melbourne. Then we have Port Adelaide and the Giants from Adelaide Oval. I reckon that's a toss of a coin. And then you've got Carlton against Brisbane. So I reckon Carlton's got no chance. And Brisbane's going to absolutely maul Carlton. Going on a Sunday, we have the Tigers versus West Coast Eagles. We'll let James, he can give us a prediction on that one.
Toss of the coin.
Right.
If Richmond win, they move off the bottom of the ladder. If they lose, they'll stay on the bottom of the ladder for the rest of the year.
Right.
Okay. Do you want to move off the bottom of the ladder though?
Well, there's no standout number one draft pick this year, apparently, because the two best players are tied to Port Adelaide and Carlton. So I just want to win. I just want to see us win a game.
Yeah, well, you got to win you got to bring on a good culture at the club. And I remember I think 2 years ago where North Melbourne won the last game of the season, and that forced them to get the number 2 pick and ended up not getting Harley Reid because of that win.
Yeah, well, there's no Harley Reid in this year's draft.
No. So the rest of the games on the weekend, we've got Gold Coast playing Melbourne in the Kristen Petraka Cup. I think Melbourne, should get over the top of Gold Coast because they're just horrible at the moment. They have big troubles off the field going on up there. And then we have Essendon versus Adelaide Crows at Marvel Stadium to round out the weekend, and that should be an easy win for the Crows.
Can I just pick you on the first and foremost? Of course, you've sort of took a stab at Hawthorn North Melbourne, and you're saying that Hawthorn's got the chance? Is that because you're biased?
Well, I said I hope they win.
Right.
So
Okay.
I'm biased about it, but I also said that Clarko hasn't beaten Hawthorn since he's been at North Melbourne,
Yep.
and this is a pretty good chance to do it down in Launceston. It's going to be pretty cold down there on Saturday, if it's pretty cold here.
Well,
Um, and
I mean, Hawthorn pretty much have a fortress down there. Apart from losing to Melbourne the last time they played there, they always seem to win there.
yeah, well, our form in that game was horrendous. So let's hope we play better than that one.
Carlton,
Um,
Carlton Brisbane game now. Because we're all feeling the pinch, and you don't think we're going to get across with Brisbane. You're absolutely sure about that,
Well, I still think Brisbane will win the premiership again this year and go three
right?
in a row.
Right. Okay.
So,
Brisbane always come good at the right time of the year, and they're building.
Right.
and
Okay.
unfortunately, Carlton are in their road this weekend, so they'll just steam train over the top of you.
Not if it doesn't rain. Richmond versus West Coast
Well,
Eagles.
it doesn't matter if it rains, Jerry. It's at Marvel Stadium with a roof on it.
Yeah, well, you never know.
You're obviously going to watch the game at the wrong ground.
No, 7:40 at Malvern.
It's called
Marvel.
pronounced Marvel.
Yeah, I know, but it's marvelous. Now, Richmond, and just going back to your comments, James. Now, and you got picked up by Adam saying, "Are you wishing to stay at the bottom?" But you're wishing
No,
to
I want to
win.
always want to win,
Yeah,
but watching Richmond is painful this year. We can't kick goals. Our skill level is atrocious. Our so-called super draft from 2 years ago, they're all out injured. They've all been very disappointing apart from Sam Lawler. Josh Smillie hasn't even played a game yet. The three tall forwards we picked, Harry Armstrong, Tom Sims, and Jonty Fall, always injured. And when they do play, they're not very impressive. So, not a fan of Adam Uze, our coach, either. He'll be gone midway through next year, I think, because I can't see any signs of improvement. Don't know what his game plan is. Having said that, I will tip them to beat West Coast, but only just.
Well, the rumor is that you'll probably improve in form next year because all these young kids who are injured will probably get healthy now that you sacked your high performance manager.
Yeah, they've been injured for 2 years, so that's put us 2 years. They should be up to 40, 50 games by now, and most of them have played under 10 games.
Yep.
Now,
That's
just going back to because I'm really proud that and I'm very happy that you've accepted my invitation, James, to come on board tonight. What's the solution for Richmond? You mean just looking 1 year, 2 years? What would you
Oh,
like to
we're
see?
going to be down the bottom for a long, long time. The Tassie Devils are coming in soon, so they're going to pick the eyes out of the next three drafts. So we're going to lose more experienced players in the not too distant future. Nick Vlosten, Tom Lynch, Dion Prestia, Nathan Broad. We're just a team of inexperienced kids, and it's going to be pain for a long time yet.
No, well, all right, okay.
But we won our three premierships. I'm eternally grateful for that.
Yeah,
And you just got to withstand the bad times and hope that we're not down in the doldrums for too long.
okay.
well, I think it's better to completely bottom out than sit around sort of 12th to 8th like St Kilda do. And so they
Absolutely.
never totally rebuild and they just get stuck in no man's land. Whereas
Yep.
sometimes it's better just to have 3 or 4 really bad years, get a good list of young kids back with you, and then build from there. Hawthorn were in the same predicament probably 4 years ago, or maybe 5 years ago when Mitchell first took over.
Yep.
And we played some horrendous football in Mitchell's second year in the first half, and then they turned it around by the second half of that second year of his. So, and I know when Clarkson took over Hawthorn, we were down the bottom until Buddy and Jared Roughhead kind of moved through and puts a muscle on. So yeah, sometimes you think you're a long way away, but sometimes it's not very far at all. So
Yeah, the way I'm looking at it and the performances they're putting in, we're a long way away.
Right, Adam, if we can move on to now, let's just talk about former Port Adelaide coach Ken. Now he's the senior coach, as we know, for Tasmania Devils. What's all this bit about AFL coach facing ban after unpopular act? What's going on there?
what was the unpopular act?
I don't
This
know.
is news to me, Jerry. I haven't heard anything about this.
I think what happened was that now that he's a senior coach, he can't go into different places freely, willingly as he wants because he's now, coming across, information that he shouldn't be listening to or looking at.
Well,
Because he's a commentator.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, the thing is,
Right.
though, he's a commentator. He can still commentate the games, but after the game, he shouldn't really be going into other teams, into the change rooms and stuff, because it's not only the information he can pick up. Most of the stuff, the information he's probably aware of anyway, having just come off coaching Port Adelaide. But it's more that he could get into communication with some of the players who are becoming free agents, and he can start talking to them firsthand in his role as a commentator. And clubs don't want to lose players, and that gives him an unfair advantage.
And so that was not that was absolutely correct in making the fact that, hey, just you can't do that anymore. So you agree with the actual editorial.
Yeah, I agree that, but also I think Ken Hinkley would be aware of it and probably not. He wouldn't want to be doing it because it shines him in a bad light if he actually poaches a player in his role as a broadcaster.
Have we got any more commentators in the same predicament?
Well, Nathan Buckley he commentates games, doesn't he, James?
He does for Fox, yeah,
Yeah, so he's an assistant coach for
at Geelong.
Geelong.
Yeah.
So how come they're not reflecting that on him?
Well, because he's not
Well,
an
he may not go into the rooms. I don't know.
Right, okay. Okay. All right. Moving right along, our next thing was that Merv, and hence James is on board to talk about Merv Keane. Go for it, James.
Oh, well, he's in Richmond's team of the century on the halfback flank. Triple premiership player, 1973, 1974, 1980. Great player. Played in the midfield in the 1980 grand final when KB was in the forward line. When he left Richmond, he went over to South Australia and he coached Sturt in South Australia. And he was an assistant coach with Kevin Sheedy for a while at Windy Hill as well, when the Bombers were a powerhouse.
I,
Yeah,
I,
so he went from Essendon, and then I think he had a stint at Western Jets in the under 18,
Yes,
and
and was
then
responsible for players such as Brad Johnson.
yeah, and then he's then gone back to Essendon towards the end of Kevin Sheedy's coaching at Essendon as well.
I,
Yeah, so uh,
I had some questions to you, if I can put it to you, James. Um, there was mentions of Merv playing for the Redlegs, Norwood, South Australia. I'm not too sure whether that was true or not.
I will check on Wikipedia. I'll have a look at
Okay.
on the iPad.
Yeah.
What
Well,
about, yeah,
he
go
he
on.
coached he coached Sturt,
Yeah,
the two Blues, or is it the two Blues or the double
The
Blues?
two the two Blues.
true
And
blue.
the first year he played in the team as well as coaching.
Ah, right. So
But
that's where that's so that he did actually play.
yeah, he played and coached the first year and then was the coach for the other three before coming back and
Okay.
being with Essendon. Now, he also he's recently gone back to Essendon as a recruiting manager, as in not a recruiting manager. He goes out and scouts the junior players back in the
Right.
under 18s and different leagues. But I think it was you said, Jerry, that he does it at Richmond.
Exactly, that's what I understood to be. So we throw the question back to James. You're in the inner sanctum. What's happening there?
So, sorry, I wasn't concentrating. What was the question?
So we
Is he back at Richmond now?
as a under 17 recruiter.
I haven't heard anything about that.
Right, okay.
I don't think he ever played for Norwood. Looking at Wikipedia, after he left Richmond, he went to Sturt and was playing coach.
Right.
And he was they sacked him in 1985, and then he went back to Essendon, and then the Western Jets, and then he coached. It says here a Williamstown club. I don't know if it was actually Williamstown Football Club.
Right.
And he coached Caulfield Grammarians Football Club in 2003 and 2004 before returning to assist Sheedy in his last days at Essendon.
Right, okay. Okay, well, there was a wilder question than that, and Adam, I remember we talked about him being at Witchy-Proof in Victoria.
That
Well,
was
isn't
his
that where
original team.
Yeah.
That was where they recruited him from.
Okay. Yeah. Good old. Oh, wow.
So Jerry,
Yeah, go on.
we're talking about Merv Keane because you had an interaction with him on the weekend on Saturday at the South Melbourne Market.
Yes, I was picking up hot jam donuts, and he was just sitting there. So he looked at me, and I had my, hang on, let me just show you. I had my Carlton jacket on. He goes, "Oh, do you follow Carlton, mate?" I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "You gonna go to the game today?" And I go, "Oh no, I've got visitors over." Anyway, and he goes, "You know that I'm Merv, don't you?" I go, "Oh yeah. Let me look you up." And then my younger sister was there, and she goes, "Who's Merv? How do you spell Keen?" Anyway, and I said to him, "Just a minute, you know Clokey, don't you?" He goes, "Which one?" And I said, "Okay, that's a good start. That's where I wanted to ask you." Now, James,
Yes.
this is going back to his brother Peter Clarke. Now, he was my chemistry teacher at Preston
Yep.
East High School back in 74. And
Yep.
and I do remember, so my sister and I, a sister that's older than me, right? And I said to my sister, "Have you got any pictures of Clokey?" Because the question was it David Cloke who came to visit us one week, or was it just Peter being a chemistry teacher? And she goes, "I'm sure I saw David because all the girls lined up for him." Anyway, so I got up at 3 o'clock in the morning, James, and I remembered I had my report card. And yep, Peter Cloke, P Cloke. He
Yep.
signs P Cloke in my report card. So he was definitely at Preston East High as a chemistry teacher, but not David Cloke. There's pictures of David Cloke around the school, but he might have just came to visit his brother.
Well, you may have delivered mail to David Cloke years ago when he had the David Cloke cellars on Cotham Road at the top of
Oh,
Glenferrie Road there.
oh wow, right, Clokey. So that's what Adam was talking about.
Yeah, he had that back in the 90s. It
Oh,
was
right,
just a,
okay.
a very small shop there, and yeah, we used to go up there on a Friday afternoon to get some beer so we could have a drink after work on the Friday.
Oh
Back in the
my
good old
goodness.
days when you were allowed to have drink in the delivery centre.
Yeah, back when work was fun and not run by yeah.
So, going back to James, David Cloak did play with Merv back in the 80s or 70s.
Yeah, he played the 70s and 80s.
Right,
And then David Cloak left for Collingwood after the 1982 season, but then came back and finished his career at Richmond.
right, yeah. Yeah, that was absolute. Thank you for all that because I had to ask a couple of friends of mine in South Australia about red legs and they tried to
There's
do
no
their
mention
homework.
of him ever. No mention of him ever playing for Norwood. He played for Sturt as captain coach.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Done. Back to you, Adam. We wanted to talk about 2026 Commonwealth Games again.
Oh, again.
Well, the update. You
Oh,
are
the
the
update.
yeah.
Well, the problem is I haven't been watching it for the last couple of days, so I can't really tell you what's happened.
Oh my God.
I saw on the news that it was wet there, Jerry. It's been raining in Glasgow.
Right.
The athletics track was very wet.
Well, I'm sure everybody is up to date with the Channel 7 uh
Well, the athletics
reporting.
just started. So the athletics started yesterday. Is that
Right.
correct? I
Yeah,
think.
the Aussie came second in the 100-meter sprint, but he ran an Australian record time. He was only beaten by 200ths of a second by the Cameroon sprinter.
Whoa. That's a really fine margin. Two
Yeah,
hundredths of a second.
yeah, and the 10,000 meters gold were both the men's and the women's were won by Australians.
Right. Okay. So just back to you, back to you, Adam. Did you have any further updates on other codes?
On what footy?
Well, footy, basketball, NBL.
Oh, well, we had the under 17 Women's World Cup of
Yep.
basketball that was held in Czechia. But I think we
Prague.
spoke about this last week, so I don't want
Yeah,
to
it's
bore all the
Prague.
viewers
No, well,
about the
that's all
same
right because
thing.
that's yeah, Prague.
No, it wasn't in Prague. It was
South of Prague.
Bruno or something. Bruno.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's just a little
Yeah.
tiny little spot. It's like calling it, Collingwood.
Yeah, so the Australian girls they won their first of the round games, and then they lost to the US by only 2 points, 74-72 in the second game, which I thought gave them a great opportunity to come through and have a chance of beating the US when it was time, in the medal round. Um, they then went on and won their third game, and then they got through to the semi-finals. But unfortunately, Spain knocked them off with their they had a really big front line, and it disrupted the Australians' offense. They shot 1 of 21 from the 3-point line at the start of the game, and then they got to within, it was even with 2 minutes to go, and then they had three turnovers in a row, which led to breakaway layups, and that was the game. And so they ended up beating Canada for the bronze medal,
Just before
unfortunately.
just before I go, can I just also um put it to you as well? There's the US Open tennis coming up in end of August, I think September.
Yeah, it's normally around the start of September.
Yeah, right. So are you going to be doing that as well? Are you a tennis fanatic?
Well, it means I have to sign up to Stan. Are you gonna pay my subscription fees, Jared?
I don't think so. I'm
Or,
just used to paying jam donuts.
or maybe I'll just jump over to New York for a couple of weeks
Right,
Oh,
okay.
that'd be nice.
and cover it for you. Because it's going to be cold. It's a bit rainy here in Glasgow. As you can see, I've got the Hydro Stadium behind me there on the banks of the Clyde River.
Yep.
So I'm just going to trot along and go for a nice walk along the Clyde River.
All right. Thank you so much. Gentlemen, James, thank you so much. I hope
Thank you,
to
Jerry. Always a
have your
pleasure.
I hope to have you on next week as well. Same time, same station, 7 o'clock.
Okay, Jerry. Thank you. See you, Adam.
See ya.
See you, Adam. Bye.
Bye.